This car has been raced in various rallies all over the world. This VW can do 280 miles to the gallon. Save the leaflets. The abandoned car meet, deserted until the rain ceases. Today on Car Traction, you join us at Old Piggery Cafe for another Cars and Caffeine at Combermere car meet. Now recently, hopefully, you will have seen my recent coverage of last month's breakfast car meet, which was for pre-90 cars. It's just to limit the size of this meet really, but to make sure we do not leave out any of the slightly more modern classics at the end of the sort of classic car spectrum or vehicles of interest. There is a post-90 meet, the sort of the month after, so today's is the post-90 meet, so we'll be seeing a lot more modern classics, but these cars are very, very interesting indeed. We've got the wonderful newish Jaguar XJ8, which is brand new to the channel. We'll make sure to give you a little bit of a walk around that one. We've got Grandad in the Jaguar X350, XJ over there. I'm sure we'll be seeing some interesting stuff. Just over there, there's a car that does 280 miles to the gallon. There's a prototype, there's just two of them, so we'll be seeing some really rare and interesting stuff, albeit not quite as old as the usual pool of classic cars we see on the Car Traction YouTube channel, but we'll be hopeful, fingers crossed, for a good turnout today.
I was going to have one, I'd have to buy the tool to do it.
BMW E30 Cabriolet. But while waiting for a few arrivals, we will have a little look at this fascinating prototype car that I mentioned in my introduction a minute ago. Now this is a very rare car. I think only 2 or 3 of these produced. This is a VW XL1, which is a fascinating prototype car from VW. It was made sort of 2016 or somewhere around there. And in the back there is a 3-cylinder diesel engine, and it's got this really sort of sleek body, and that's to get a really low drag coefficient, as this VW can do 280 miles to the gallon, and that is the point of it. It's a prototype car to see how many miles to the gallon you can get on a 3-cylinder diesel. So it's so streamlined to lower the drag coefficient, less drag, less diesel is used. You've got these streamlined wheels as well. It's a really fascinating car, this, and it's just so rare. It's obviously not a production car, just a prototype, so this is one of the only ones, and it's really rare to see it out today. To help with the streamline, we have some gull wing style doors that lift upwards, and the spats on the back, all to make this car as slippery as possible. It's such a fascinating and rare car, that. On the end here is another really rare little car. This is a Lotus Europa S, which looks very sort of similar to the likes of the Lotus Elise S, but this is actually a much rarer variant. It's got a transversely mounted 4-cylinder as a Porsche 911 rolls in, and I think it's actually got a bit of information on the front of this one. There's only about 50 of these or so. The owner of this also has an MGB GT V8, a purple one, which we've seen a few times before. But of course that is not eligible for today's car meets. This is of course post 1990, so he's brought along his wonderful Lotus Europa S, which I've got to say is a very nice looking little car. Got a 911 just over there as well. A TVR Griffith has nosed in just over here. I think we'll be seeing a lot more cars turning up today. Perhaps with these moderns there's a bit of a tendency to be fashionably late, I'm not sure. Of course these modern cars are probably more fashion accessories, but we'll have to see. It's a bit out of our depth. We won't be seeing any sort of 50s Austins or anything today, but I'm sure we'll find some interesting things, such as this 1990s era Mini here. It's a 1275 in this one. Of course the A series, quite a late car. That looks super cool. Got some slightly modified wide arches there, and some very nice little door mirrors on there as well. It's a smart looking little car, that, isn't it? There's a VW XL1 looking very sleek and very small. People always say modern cars are getting bigger and bigger, but I mean, it's narrower than a Mini, I think. But of course, this is a prototype. It's not a production car. It's left-hand drive, interestingly. That is a real rarity, that. And here is another TVR Griffith in blue. These of course having an evolution of the Rover V8 engine. This is a Griffith 500, so perhaps a 5 litre bored out V8 engine in this one, looking very nice. BMW Z4 here. These had a variety of engine sizes. I think this is a 2.3 straight 6 in this one. There's the Mercedes AMG GTS, goes on the move. 6-speed manual gearbox, very nice with that 6-cylinder engine of course. BMW Z4's quite a nice little sports car in my opinion. You're sitting pretty much right on the rear axle, which is quite a cool place to be I think in one of these. And yeah, an example of a great reliable modern sports car there that is pretty surely to be a future classic. And just next to that, this is a TVR, another one that's slightly earlier. Not sure this exactly qualifies, as I think this is probably 80s, not 90s, but I might be incorrect in that. Of course, with V8s, this also is an evolution of the Rover V8 engine, probably more. Oh, there might be a 6. No, it was a V8, this one actually. So yeah, it will be an evolution of the Rover V8 engine, maybe more like 4 litres. Usually they're 3.5, but they might have been enlarged for the TVRs, like the Griffith 500. Got the TVR door handles there as well, looking very nice. Haven't seen one of these in silver actually. I knew you did have like the likes of the S2, which I think was available as a 6-cylinder, but this is a V8 one with a very cool hump in the bonnet to accommodate that big engine. Well, we were promised a mixed forecast for today. I'll make sure to continue the show walk around later on, but it has just started. Save the leaflets! Save the leaflets! It has just started to rain rather heavily. Also on the Porsche 911 Carrera GTS. Most important thing is the leaflets are safe, and it gives us a chance to have a nice look at the interior of the Jaguar XJ8, a 3.2 V8 in this one. Are the leaflets okay?
Well, the leaflets, well, one may have suffered.
Oh, that's not good. We've got plenty more in stock though.
Heartbreaking scenes.
That was quite the clap of thunder, wasn't it?
Where's that come from?
I wasn't expecting any of that. There's forecast short but very sharp showers.
Yeah.
So I think everyone has gone to sit in their car or the cafe.
The cafe.
Oh, that's smart. Then again, I think we have got bagels in here. Yeah. So we'll stay in here for a couple of minutes until water stops falling from the sky at a very fast rate and continue our walk around.
Hopefully.
We're quickly on our way to the cafe. We'll have a look around all of these cars later. And I think we'll be sociable and join everyone else inside. The abandoned car meet, deserted until the rain ceases. Well, the rain has stopped for at least a little bit, and this is probably quite an appropriate car for such weathers. Now this is a Bowler Wildcat, which is like a Dakar or like really sort of rough terrain rally version of like the Land Rover Defender. It's got some sort of iteration of the Rover V8 up front in it. It's quite a thing this, isn't it? Wow, so that once, I'm sure, probably was a Land Rover Defender, but of course it's got its all custom chassis looking pretty wild and a booming V8 up front. That is quite a car. I'll have a little look inside her, thank you. What sort of gearbox is in this?
4-speed Land Rover Auto with a sequential conversion.
Oh, I see, yeah, the two pedals sort of threw me off a bit.
Yeah, and it's 5 litre V8.
It must be a bit of a hoot to drive then, mustn't it?
Yeah, it's entertaining. Yeah, especially when it gets a bit greasy on the road.
I'm sure. Wow, that is quite the interior on this Bowler Wildcat. Fantastic thing. It's got a 5 litre V8 up front in it, all fiberglass body. I think we'll get a little look at the engine on this one. Bit of steam from the water rolling onto the hot engine. Oh, that is quite the engine bay, that. This car has been raced in various rallies all over the world. And it is the first production Bowler Wildcat, so that is actually quite a historic car. And just beyond that is a Honda S2000. These are quite desirable little things now. Of course, the VTEC, these redline about 9,000 RPM, which is
Steering wheel is the Accord.
is actually,
That looks pretty similar.
Yeah, I've got more room.
because we of course have the mighty Accord Estate. That's a bit smaller, that though, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it is.
Maybe.
Still both VTEC. It
Both
says
VTEC,
VTEC
yeah.
on our yeah, on like the engine cover. I don't think ours does ours rev to like 8 or something. These go to
Might do
9.
once. Might do once.
Yeah, these go to about 9, which is pretty mad. And we got the E30 Cabriolet here. These are quite trendy cars now. So a manual 5-speed in this one. And it says Bavaria on the back. I wonder what- is Bavaria like some convertible?
That's what BMW made.
Oh yeah, Bavarian Motorworks.
Bayerische Motorwerken.
So Bavarian Motorworks, isn't it? I just wondered, is that some special thing for the convertible?
Or it could be these sort of extra little body bits.
Oh, I see. Yeah, a bit of a body kit on this E30.
Yeah, it's got some extra little bits on it.
Very clean. The leaflets are safe and dry in the XJ8 now. Of course, its first car meet it has been to, and fingers crossed, touch wood, all those are little phrases, it is actually running fairly okay, which is great to see. It's gleaming in the sunshine in zircon blue. The 3.2 V8 wafted us over here perfectly, and here's Grandad in his X350. This is a 2003 car, this is a 2002 car, so this is the generation that came just after the X308, which is our car, the X350. And this has a V6 engine in it as opposed to the V8, of course, in the earlier car. Only 1 year apart. This is a very late X308 and that is a very early X350. But as you can see, it's a lot taller. It's a little bit cramped in some of the more low-slung cars, but I think the low-slung design just looks absolutely fantastic. And of course, Grandad's is looking very, very shiny today with all his badges on the front. And just next to that is a car that has not featured on the channel before. The owner of this car has many classic cars that have featured on the channel. He also owns a twin-cam Escort and a Lotus Cortina Mark 1. But today, for the post-90s meet, he has dug out his wonderful little Mini Cooper. I think it's 91 or something. This car looks super, super nice in black. Very, very shiny. I've never really seen a black Mini before, but it looks so nice. Beautiful contrast with the white roof. That just looks fantastic with all the rain beading up very nicely. And I presume maybe the polished paint. He does like his cars quite clean, this owner. Yeah, that looks fantastic. It's been in storage for about 5 years. He's finally sort of recommissioned it and got it out and about. So he's got 3 classic cars on the go now. Yeah, a very nice little car. With, I think, to be honest, a reasonable turnout considering the slightly torrential rain we've had today. I think soon for the next month the meeting will revert to pre-90s and post-90s. There'll be no age restrictions. It'll just be like the old days where you can get any type of car, which of course is very lovely. As we will probably no longer have pre-90s and post-90s exclusive meets. There'll just be a limit to 150 cars. So a bright future for the Ooh! Something pre-worn, a trailer. That looks maybe like a Morris or something. Oh, it's been enveloped by the trees. But I was saying a bright future for the Cars and Caffeine Combermere meet, as we will be getting the wonderful varied selection of old cars and new cars, ranging from the 20s to the modern day with the supercars. With, of course, the no age restriction meet, so that'll be nice. We'll be back here next month, I'm sure. Another car that's turned up recently is this fantastic Porsche 911 Carrera. This generation is the last of the air-cooled cars before they went to the water-cooled flat-six engine in the Porsches. So these are a very desirable one, right-hand drive, looking very lovely in silver. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of today's perhaps slightly limited turnout, but it's still some interesting stuff here. Some really rare cars like the VW prototype. You can see the gull-wing doors up at the moment. You can never tell when that thing's running because it's got such a tiny, I think it's like 1 litre, maybe not even that, 3-cylinder diesel engine. And of course that fantastic Bowler Wildcat, which is a genuine Dakar. It was going to run in the Paris Dakar-rally, but it was substituted for the other car. Parts were ripped off that one to go onto the main team's car. which I went on to do pretty well, but it did various races in Europe as well. And there you go, barely audible, the 3-cylinder diesel, and the VW XL1 is on its way. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Which car would you drive home from today's post 1990 breakfast car meet here at the Combermere Piggery Cafe? There goes the VW XL1. And let me know what you think of our Jaguar XJ8 at its first car meet. Well, as you can see, a few cars are leaving. There's somewhat limited turnout at the Combermere Cars and Caffeine breakfast car meet, but I think that comes with the territory when there's a restriction placed upon it just for post-90, just trying to restrict the size, get an idea of what the size is like, and they're going to go back to a fully varied car meet of cars of any era and just limit it to 150 cars, which does seem a wise decision. So I'm sure you will be joining me for those later meetings in future to see what the turnouts will be like. Indeed. With the restriction up to 150. So that'll be interesting. But now I'm going to say goodbye. And which car do you have, Dad, actually?
I'll keep mine on.
Really? No, that doesn't count. Which one apart from yours?
Oh, I don't know. One of the minis.
Really? I'd probably have the Wildcat.
Yeah.
That must be so much fun on the road.
I guess.
And I mean, it's got a Rover V8, so it's like fairly ubiquitous, isn't it?
It'll sound
I'm sure it's made to be fixed.
Yeah, well maybe the S2000, that might be a bit of a...
Yeah, they're meant to be
nice
quite
car.
good, yeah.
Nice car.
And the Griffiths are nice as well, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. Actually, yeah, I'll go for a Griffith, you're right.
Oh, alright, fair enough. Well, yeah, make sure to join us in future for perhaps a bit of a better turnout with a non-restricted era of cars.
The weather's pretty gloomy, isn't it? We've had thunder, lightning, rain.
Yeah, good for the British Grand Prix, but...
good for ducks.
Oh, I've just dated this video. I'm going to have to try and get it out really quick now. Yeah, today is the day of the British Grand Prix, so I don't know who's won yet. I'm sure the people watching... Yeah, but it hasn't happened yet. Maybe it'll be a Brit. We'll have to see. But yeah, I'm going to say goodbye. Stop waffling now. Let me know what you guys would have driven home. Make sure to check out the channel homepage for past videos of larger turnouts here at the Combermere Cars and Caffeine. And thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
XJ convoy.
Indeed. V8 and V6.